It's 2200 hours GMT. We're live from the News Hub at Adesanwe. Welcome to News at 10. My name is Solace Rose Corte. Now to some of the highlighting stories making headlines. The Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists has called off its strike. The decision was arrived at following the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the leadership of the association and officials of the Health Ministry. And to a trending issue, Communications Minister Esla Wusu-Ekofo has stated that demands by civil society and Ghanaians to know the directors and owners of Kilni GVG is a distraction from the essential service they have been contracted to provide. And TV3 gets results as residents of Kulung now have potable water after a series of TV3 mission reports on poor source of water used by the residents. The community borehole project, which was initiated by residents, has been handed over. And now to the Volta region, where the chiefs and elders of Kweve in the South Dai district of the Volta region have suggested to the district assembly to adopt a public-private partnership approach to give the market a facelift. Traders have lamented over paying high tolls despite the assembly's unfulfilled promises to construct a new one. And elsewhere in the world, U.S. Defense Secretary James Mattis has accused China of deploying missiles in the disputed South China Sea to intimidate and coerce its neighbors. General Mattis says Beijing's actions calls into question its broader goals. Staying with us, let's start off the bulletin with a big one. The Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists has called off its strike with immediate effect. A statement by the association said the decision was arrived at following the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the leadership of the lab scientists and officials of the Health Ministry. The association began a week-long strike which started May 21, raising concerns over salary discrepancies they claim had existed for 6 years after the introduction of a single spine pay policy. The strike resulted in many patients being stranded at the various government hospitals. Now, joining us on the phone lines, we have the Secretary of the Ghana Association of Medical Scientists, Michael Omari. Good evening, sir. Many thanks for joining us on News at 10.
Good evening, and thank you to your viewers.
Okay. Now, we would like to know what exactly made your association call off the strike?
Thank you once again. Anyway, let's correct this one. Okay. We have not called off the strike. We have suspended the strike action.
Right. So the strike has been suspended, not called off indefinitely.
Yeah, it has been suspended.
Okay. Till when?
And it has been suspended at the roadmaps that we put in the MOU that have been signed yesterday. Is implemented. So it means that if any part of the MOU is not implemented as it says in the letter, we can revoke revoke the strike again in a moment.
Okay, now what timelines did you exactly give government regarding the MOU? If you could give us brief details of that, the agreement.
Thank you. There were three issues that we put forward concerning our representation in management and social education of directorate for us at the Ministry of Health, the salary disparities of our technical officer cadets and other cadets in the med lab science, and then the fencing of the funds generated, some of them, so that we can have a revolving fund for retooling of the laboratory. Yeah. So when we went on negotiation, at the negotiation table, it came out that our condition of service also has not been implemented, so it also came in. So these four cardinal points were discussed since Tuesday. They were back and forth here and there. And yesterday, around 6 p.m., 7 p.m., we came into agreement, and then the memorandum of understanding was signed between us, the leaders of the association, and the Ministry of Health, being represented by the minister himself.
Okay. And
it was witnessed by the Health Service Workers Union and the Minister of Employment and Labor Relations.
Right. Now,
so we called it, after that we suspended the strike action so that we can start implementing the roadmap immediately on Monday.
Okay. Now, regarding the timeline for the implementation, what exact timelines did you give the ministry?
The issues in the different working plan and roadmap. So some have 2 weeks, some have 1 month, and so forth. So it's not just specific.
Okay.
We have had a roadmap. Each item under it has its own timeline.
Okay. Right, so thank you very much, Michael Omari. He is the secretary of the Ghana Association of Medical Scientists, and he was basically telling us that, contrary to the reports we have, that they have called off the strike. It's actually been suspended indefinitely until the Ministry of Health and, of course, with collaboration with them, are able to implement the framework in the MOU. Let's move away from that and still do issues regarding healthcare in Ghana, because the Ghana Mental Health Authority says it has had to depend on both internal and external donor support for its activities. According to the authority, its budgetary allocation from government has not been forthcoming despite several assurances. Meanwhile, external support from donors, which has been the lifeline of the authority, would end by June 30. According to the authority, 43 million cedis is required to cater to its operations and the 3 mental health facilities. In an interview with the health minister about a fortnight ago, and the health minister indicated efforts were being made to address the problem. Now, we've been joined on the phone lines by the Chief Executive Officer of the Mental Health Authority himself, Dr. Akwesi Osei. Good evening, sir.
Hello, good evening.
Right, thank you for agreeing to speak with us.
You're welcome.
Okay, now let's talk about the current state of your funding challenges. What exactly is it? Where does it stand?
Well, thank you very much, and good evening to your cherished viewers. Well, the issues are simply that we have not received funds for the whole year since the beginning of the year. That has put us in a very critical situation. The psychiatric hospitals don't have money to be running. And in the next few days, if they don't have money, then they can't continue with the services. They might be forced to go back to the cash and carry situation. At the level of the mental health authority too, the support that we were having from the development partner is coming to an end at the end of this month, June. And again, if you don't have money from the ministry or from the government to support us, then unfortunately we cannot run the services, you cannot run the operations of the mental health authority. And that might mean that we might have to shut down because we can't otherwise function.
Right. When was the last time you actually heard from the health ministry regarding the issue of funding?
Well, we've been in touch with them almost every day, and we have had the promises that monies are going to be released, and we are expectant. However, the fact remains that we've not had it. Right.
Now, in speaking with one of our reporters, Catherine from Poma, about a fortnight ago, the minister indicated that, as you said, there have been assurances, and they are assuring that the ministry will be, bringing out the funds as soon as possible, and that you, the chief executive officer, should be a bit more understanding, so to speak. What do you have to say about that?
Agreed that we should be patient, and we've been patient. But the fact remains that at the hospital, for instance, the patients can be patient. They need to eat, and the authorities of the hospitals will need to feed them. So if they are not getting the food, if they are not getting the money to feed them, yes, they are patient, and we are all being patient. The fact remains that they can't feed them. Right. At the level of the authority, yes, we should be patient, that we are being patient, but at the end of this month, if we don't have funds, we can't continue to run our services, because our agreement with the developing partner is definitely coming to an end. So that is the situation.
Right. Now, so what can you sum up categorically what could happen by the first week of July, per se, if nothing in the way of financial support comes through to your institution?
The authority might not be able to run. For instance, if you go to the office and you don't have lights and you need to put on your generator, you don't have fuel in it, what do? You can't pay off your cleaners for them to clean the place. There's no way that we can run. So we are hoping very strongly that some monies will be released from somewhere. In the same way at the hospital, if they don't have money to run, two things: either they say that we can't admit patients to the ward, or the patients should pay for their services before they are admitted.
Right. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Kwesiose. He is the Chief Executive Officer of the Mental Health Authority. You're still watching News at 10. We'll be right back with more after this. Do stay. Welcome back to News at 10. Let's still stay on health issues, as diseases such as dementia and Alzheimer's, which are associated with a decline in memory skills, can be severe enough to reduce a person's ability to effectively perform everyday activities. According to research, about 60 to 80% of the older population in Africa suffer from age-related diseases such as dementia and Alzheimer's.
Experts in the biology of aging believe that pharmacological interventions to slow aging are a matter of when rather than if. A leading target for such interventions is the nutrient response pathway defined by health practitioners. Lifespan in relation to age confers protection against a growing list of age-related illnesses. In certain parts of Ghana, the aged over the years have been associated with witchcraft due to ignorance of symptoms of some age-related diseases on the part of family members and society. The existence of 6 recognized witch camps in northern Ghana has dented the country's image on human rights. It is against this background that a group in collaboration with the Health Ministry has come together to sensitize society on the need to support the aged.
I love the age people, and I like that. By the way they talk to us, they advise you, and it helps you too. I thought when you're bored, they can create some funny stories, and then you laugh. It all heals you. So please, do not neglect the aged, because they are part, and pray that you will grow to be of their age.
Leader of the group, Romana Amwating, underscored the need to educate the public on the special attention old people require.
People are not witches. It's an illness. They forget, and it progresses where some of them don't even remember their children. It's not because they are witches. It's a mental illness, and we have to try and educate ourselves to help these people, because we're going to get there too.
Now let's do some other stories where rehabilitation work has begun on the Esutuari Bridge after years of neglect. This follows months of consistent reports and follow-ups by the TV3 news team over the hardship commuters go through and the threat and the dangers the bridge poses to their lives. Catherine Frimpoma has more.
The Esutuari Bridge has now been closed to traffic. This is not just to make way for rehabilitation works, but also because of the danger it poses to motorists. The deplorable state of the bridge has gone from bad to worse. The bridge was in similar condition when TV3 first reported on it in 2014, and for the past 4 years, it has been a den of life-threatening problems for residents. Our last visit in March this year revealed a worrying trend. 2 months on, luck seemed to have smiled on residents as work has started on the bridge. Engineers from the Bridge Maintenance Unit of the Ghana Highway Authority are on the project. Currently happening behind me is the construction of a temporary wooden footpath for residents to be able to cross the river as the main work on the over 50 years bridge begins in few weeks. The work is estimated to last for 2 months, but this is supposed to be a stopgap measure for an uninterrupted flow of work on the main bridge. But residents have expressed concern over the development, questioning the durability of the materials being used.
The woods that they are using it, the water will come and wash it away, and it will create danger to our lives.
So actually they want to do the bridge for us. It's fine, but we are thinking about the wood. Wood can help us. That's the question.
Some residents, obviously happy at the development, want engineers to speed up work to manage the hardship the construction would bring to them.
The structure that they are making, we want them to be in a hurry to have it done before the race starts. Because when it starts, this river flows to the highest timber to this place. Oh.
There are serious implications for farming as well. This is the only alternative route, which is motorable, but we're told it gets flooded whenever it rains, making the Esutuari Bridge the only option. The factory back road links to several farms, mostly rice cultivations. Some farmers transporting farm inputs to their farms were stranded here because of the floods.
It's not easy. It affects us a lot because right now we cannot work if it rains heavy, and meanwhile we have a lot of things to do in the farm. It makes our crops and our things damage.
When the farmer comes to collect the farm inputs, he needs to use a motorbike. Now the motorbike too cannot pass this single road bridge, so we need to carry it along, and all these things are causing a lot of economic hardship to the people.
Others who could not take the risk had abandoned the dream of reaching their farm and returned home. Meanwhile, the socio-economic implications on various communities within the area is enormous. Cars coming from Akuse and environs have to make a stop here for passengers to either cross the deadly bridge on foot or by motorbike. Motorists carrying heavy loads have an extra duty of carrying the load across on foot to be transported in a vehicle. Residents are not amused at this at all. As it is, residents would have to endure this situation at least for the next 2 months, which is the estimated schedule within which the rehabilitation work on the over 50 years bridge would be completed. It is hoped that this would bring a perpetual end to the years of suffering for residents of Esutuari and adjoining communities. Catherine Frimpoma, TV3 News, Esutuari.
Residents of some rural communities in the Mion district of the Northern region are now sourcing water from mud. Eva Atiboka reports on the struggle of residents to fill a receptacle and how they are cutting down their daily water intake for future use.
Sustainable Development Goal 6 targets achieving universal and equitable access to safe and affordable drinking water for all by 2030. However, water crisis in some communities indicates Ghana has to do a lot in meeting the goal. Annually, from January through to June, finding water is a nightmare in northern Ghana. Rivers, dams, dugouts and ponds are mostly sources serving the people, but they have dried up. Continually, humans struggle with animals for water to survive. Inhabitants of Mion district say they are the worst hit. Getting water means hours of trekking over long distances and hanging on for hours or days.
At my age, I traveled 22 kilometers to River Dakar, which is also almost dried up, before I can get water. We cut down our water intake because getting a bucket of water takes days.
At Zotuya, finding water is a sad story to tell. Stuck in the mud, it takes a whole day to fill a receptacle.
We put plenty alum and it settles for us to use. Even if it's harmful, we don't have a choice.
Alum, when you use it, it has some carcinogenic properties, so it means it will be able to cause cancer if you use it for a longer time. They also say that it causes cataract, eye diseases, and then also sometimes it can cause retinal bleeding. And then even those who have GCS PD, they can also become anemic when they use it. And then it also says that the alum contains some neurotoxins that also affects the neurons in the body.
And an unquantifiable amount of a local disinfectant called alum is the treatment option. Health experts are worried about the health complications, saying they are recording higher water-related diseases.
Water from the river, if it is not treated, they also get typhoid diseases, and so some of them comes in with typhoid perforation and they have to do operation on them. The last time we had to speak on it was when one of our surgeons reported that there are so many numbers of people coming with typhoid perforations.
At Zo, the situation is better because a dam was recently constructed for them. Their worry, however, is they share with animals. The decade-long water problem is as a result of low water table across the district. The energy-draining search and scramble for water is affecting the overall development of the people. Economic activities are affected, their hopes and aspirations are dashed, and many barely eking out survival. The people are counting on government and corporate organizations for a lasting solution to their problem.
Now, the residence of the British High Commissioner Ian Walker came alive as celebrated performers Reggie and Boli, the Pride of the North, Wiyala and KK Fosu performed in celebration of the Queen's 92nd birthday. The major highlight on the night was when the British High Commissioner joined the X Factor finalists up on stage to do the Shaku Shaku dance.
Art exhibition, live drawing, photo sessions and other fun activities set the tone for the Queen's 92nd birthday celebration. Patrons had a great time, savoring food, whining and enjoying good music. Performance from UK-based Ghanaian duo Reggie and Boli activated the party mood. The gathering of diplomats and business moguls danced their souls off. The patrons were taken back in time, with Boli doing his 2004 mega hit, You May Kiss the Bride. Celebrated singer KK Fosu was eulogized by Reggie for being there for him at a time he was trying to find his feet in the industry. The two performed their 2009 hit, Adoma. Whilst endorsing their latest song, Wine Up, the British High Commissioner Ian Walker joined the duo on stage to do the Shaku Shaku dance.
Mr. Ian Walker, let me put it on record. He's the coolest High Commissioner Ghana has ever had. Trust me. You know, this man gets showbiz, you know, and he keeps it real. When he tells you, let's do A, he means A, nothing else. Yeah. Yesterday, we just met him. We're like, you know, our news, let's hear it. Boom. He buys it on iTunes. We do 1 or 2, and tonight he joins us on stage. Like, wow.
Yeah. Songstress Buyala was a delight to watch. British High Commissioner Ian Walker looks forward to a great working partnership with Ghanaians.
An exciting night here at the residence of the British High Commissioner, Mr. Ian Walker. It happens to be the 92nd birthday of Queen Elizabeth, and it feels exciting. How significant is this occasion?
Look, it's a big occasion because, I mean, having everyone together, having so many people together from Ghana and the UK, it's been a fun evening, and that's what I care about. You know, we should be serious when we're serious, and we should have fun together, and it really matters to me. And I mean, having Reggie and Boli and Wiyala, two brilliant Ghanaian artists doing so much great stuff in the UK, it's almost for me the perfect fusion of that which is common between Ghana and UK. And I can't tell you, Wiyala, Reggie and Boli, they are the nicest people, humblest people, strong social conscience. I love these guys, they're fantastic, and it's been a great evening.
Well, that is how to party, and that is how we end News at 10 here from the News Hub at TV3. My name is Solis Rose Corte. Have a good evening.